Hey guys, Raider here. Hope you're all doing great and having a fantastic day. I do apologize for the little bit of delay in getting this video out there compared to my past videos. I've been going through some dental work lately and it's still in progress, but hopefully I'll get it wrapped up next week. But it's tough working in pain and trying to work on this content in pain. Nonetheless, before we get started, guys, I do want to say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for helping make this channel, well, so far it's been a great success and I'm just having the time of my life putting these videos out for you guys. And I really love the comments section. I mean, you guys are leaving some very insightful suggestions and comments and recommendations. I mean, I don't even have to think of video ideas anymore. You guys are thinking of all of them for me. You know, it really is awesome. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart, guys. I really do appreciate you so very much. And I don't consider this like a channel or my channel. I kind of consider this our channel. You know, it's a Samsung thing. We're all Samsung fans. I'm going to keep trying to bring you guys updated content, latest news, leaks, and information that's relevant to Samsung devices and the ecosystem. And thank you guys so much for tagging along. I really do appreciate you, and I just can't express that enough. So let's get started with today's video. So you see a bunch of devices here, right? So we are looking at the Galaxy Book2 Pro 360 that was just released. Right behind it, we have last year's model, the Galaxy Book Pro 360. And over here, the device that I rely on for all my video notes is the Tab S8 Ultra. All three of these devices feature S Pen support, and all three of them are fantastic at it as well. The first thing that I do whenever I get a Windows laptop that has touch input is I make an adjustment. Let me go ahead and start the screen recorder. I should mention too that these Samsung laptops come with an amazing screen recorder, and you can record your face as well if you want to do that whole two-way vibe like a live type thing. All right, so one of the first things I do is I open up Pen and Windows Ink settings. So you just start typing Pen, click on that, all right? And then you see this option here towards the top that says Additional Pen Settings. Go ahead and click on that. We have Show Visual Effects, Show Cursor. Let me use my pen as a mouse when it's available. Ignore touch input when using my pen. This is primarily used for Bluetooth enabled pens. However, I do find it makes a little bit of a difference even for our non-Bluetooth enabled S Pen that's included with this device. So I go ahead and enable that. And there we go, we're done with that. Next up, let's talk about this S Pen here. So this S Pen features last year's 9 milliseconds latency, and this is a 60 hertz refresh panel, and that's important as far as the overall experience goes. You're gonna find though that those numbers are a bit misleading because this Galaxy Book2 Pro 360 performs better than last year's model. I'm gonna show you guys some slow motion footage that's gonna prove that out. First up, I wanna show you what options are available, and this is what's very unique to Samsung laptops. You're not gonna get this anywhere else. You're only gonna find this on these machines, and it's really awesome. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna hover above your screen, click the button, and you're gonna get this list of options here. We have Create Note, View All Notes, Smart Select, Screen Write, Live Message, Pinup, Show Window, which requires it to be connected to two screens, and we have Add Shortcuts. So let's take a look at that, and you'll see that we already have them all added. All the same ones are up here, up top, or at the bottom. So we have them all covered. So we'll exit out of here. Let's go ahead and walk through the options that aren't to do with S Notes because we're going to focus on that separately. So we have Smart Select, which is pretty cool, but you go ahead and click on this. It's kind of make your screen flash a little bit. And no matter what you have on your screen, you can be on a web page or whatever it may be, this allows you to just select whatever you want, like we're doing right here. Give it a second. It's going to pop open in an editor that allows you to actually edit this image. So this is a great way for you to take screenshots of part of the screen and then annotate those for future reference. I see this being very useful for people in university, students, people taking notes at your workplace. What a great way to annotate notes on the fly, especially if you're in the middle of a live meeting or a conference. Your professor's presenting some information to you that's all shared and you have it right there on your laptop. Boom, grab the info that you need that's important to you and go ahead and take the notes that you need alongside of it. So I think that's pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and click again. Hover above the screen, click again. We have Screen Write. So what this is going to do, it's going to take basically a snapshot of your entire screen instead of you selecting it, and we'll let you take notes right on it. So kind of the same functionality, however, this one just does an entire screenshot, much like you would do on your phone. All right, we're going to exit out of that, discard changes. Our next one is Live Message. This is kind of quirky, but let's show it off anyway. So you guys have probably seen this before. This is just kind of a doodling type little app that lets you do 3D animations. So we can go ahead and type something out here, or draw something out, I should say. Hello. And then you can play that back. And if you want, you can send this via your messaging app, which of course, since this is a Samsung laptop, it will tie right into your Samsung phone and you can send your messages right from your laptop. So that's what folks will get. You can change the background color, the animation time, the thickness of the lines that you're doing, pretty much everything about it. And you can just send some fancy animated gifts to folks. All right, next up is Pinup. This is for all you aspiring artists and drawers out there that just want to practice and have some fun, which is not me. Let's go ahead and pick something here. Something I want to point out too, when you're using the S Pen, what's really cool is as you're hovering over any menu items or anything that's selectable, you will see that it will show pop-up contextual help. So you don't actually have to click on stuff. You know, you're going around just pecking around and hunting for different menu items. Just hover the pointer over it and it's going to let you know what that function is before you actually click anything, which is great. So we're going to go ahead and pick something here. Click on this. All right, we're going to start coloring. And we'll zoom in a little bit. All right. And you can look at me do some terrible coloring here, guys. Wow. All right, so that's how this works. And for those of you that are artistic, you might have some fun with this. That is Pinup. All right, guys, so up next, I want to show you S Notes on both the Tab S8 Ultra and the Galaxy Book2 Pro 360. And the reason I want to show it on both devices is because the application is actually quite a bit different on both. So let me go ahead and let's pull up S Notes on the Tab S8 Ultra. Okay, we're going to go ahead and view all notes. We're going to do the same here on the Galaxy Book2 Pro 360. So you can see right away that the initial screens are very similar. We have all our notes laid out. You do have some additional full text menu items here as opposed to just the icons that you see on the Tab S8 Ultra. It does make the contextual help quite a bit better on the Galaxy Book2 Pro 360. And the reason we see that added information is a side benefit of a 16:9 aspect ratio screen. You're able to get more stuff on the side where we have a little bit less screen real estate on the top. However, due to this being a 15.6-inch screen and this being a 14.6-inch screen, we only have a 1/10 of an inch difference in height between the two devices. You just have a lot wider of a canvas here on the Galaxy Book2 Pro 360. So if we go ahead and we actually open up a note, so let's open up the notes for this video here, 360 S Pen, right? We'll click that here, and we're gonna click that here. All right, now right off the bat, they both look similar. Let's go ahead and turn off the screen recorder. So they both look very similar. Everything looks about the same. You know, you're kind of zoomed in a little bit more on the Tab S8 Ultra. No big deal. You do the same over here. It probably just started off that way. Things are about to get different though. So once we click onto a note to actually start working it, we have this screen. Let me go over here to the Tab S8 Ultra. And we have this screen. So you're going to see a pretty big difference in our workflow and just the overall presentation of the application. So on the Tab S8 Ultra, our main toolbar is up here at the top. We have a horizontal toolbar, okay, and this is a non-movable one. All the options are right there up top. And as you go through each one of these options and you click on them, you'll have a pop-up of the different options. Now you have to click it twice though here to get it to come up if you're switching between items. And then you can make your different adjustments here. Everything about it, you know, you'll go here, we can change it to text, we can do all these different conversions. But basically, you're clicking on each one and you kind of have to guess until you double click to get into each item to see what options are actually available to you. However, we come over here to the Galaxy Book2 Pro 360, you're going to notice a huge difference. We have a minimal horizontal toolbar up top, which has some functionality. We also have a vertical toolbar that you can slide up and down that has additional features. Okay, this is where our pens live as opposed to the horizontal toolbar here. And you'll notice as you click on each one of these toolbar items, it brings up all of the available options that you possibly have over here on the right side, and they are always visible. So for those of you that are artists that change brushes often, the widths of your brushes, the color palettes, whatnot, the Galaxy Book2 Pro 360 does offer a very nice experience and that everything is right here with you. I really like this a lot. So of the two S Notes implementations, I prefer the Galaxy Book2 Pro 360. I should note as well that last year's model is the same as this. So if you're concerned if they're any different, they are not. They're exactly the same. I noticed no differences whatsoever, and that's a good thing. That's actually a great thing. So next up, I want to talk about drawing and illustration on this device. So I got to level with you guys. I'm just being straight up. I'm a tech nerd. I've been in IT for like over 20 years. I can't draw something to save my life, honestly. But, however, I do know of someone that can. So I highly recommend that you guys check out this channel that I really do admire. This young lady is just absolutely fantastic. Her channel name is Cosmic Spectrum Art. She, in fact, uses last year's Galaxy Pro 360 for a lot of her artwork. I'm going to link a video from her channel down in the description that actually shows her using the last year's Galaxy Book Pro 360, and you're going to be blown away by what she's able to create with this device. And considering that the pen performance is actually even a little bit better on the newer model, we'll see that in a second, I think that this is a fantastic platform for those of you that are artists, illustrators, or creators. So next up, guys, I want to switch to some slow motion footage that I took of all three of these devices, the Tab S8 Ultra, last year's model, and this year's model. Before we look at this footage, I want you guys to keep something in mind. Both the Galaxy Book Pro 360 from last year and the new version that we have now, as far as I know, because I have not seen anything concrete from Samsung stating that there's been an improvement, as far as I know, this new model shares the same 9 milliseconds latency, and both of these screens are 60 Hz. However, the Tab S8 Ultra is a 120 Hz panel and features a 2.8 milliseconds response time when you're using Samsung-based applications like S Notes. Let's see if there's a big difference. So let's go ahead, we're going to look at the Tab S8 Ultra here. All right, you'll notice the camera view is a little bit weird. I'm having to go from the top. That's so you guys can actually see the pen touch the device, and you can see the line being dragged across it. And you'll see here, it's keeping up very well. It's doing very well indeed. All right. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and pull up some footage of last year's Galaxy Book Pro 360, and I want you to pay real close attention between where the pen is actually touching and where you're able to see the line. Do you see that little bit of delay? You see how there's kind of that missing gap there as I'm drawing across the screen? Not much, it's not bad. You don't really notice it in normal operation, but obviously it is there. You guys can see the latency. All right, now let's switch over to the latest Galaxy Book2 Pro 360, which is supposed to be identical to last year's. I want you to pay very close attention to the pen input. Look at that. What does that remind you of there? I'll tell you what it reminds me of. The Tab S8 Ultra. Look at that closely. Let's go ahead and put that Tab S8 Ultra footage up again. All right. Look at that real close. Let's come back to this footage. Look at that real close. And lastly, let's take a look at last year's Galaxy Book Pro 360 one last time. Do you see that? Just a little bit. It's not a big deal or anything. You know, I'm not trying to make a mountain out of this. I'm just trying to be very thorough so you guys have the most complete details that I can possibly give you. There is a little difference. And somehow, some way, I think Samsung has improved the S Pen performance, at least slightly. One thing I should mention, guys, that all three of these devices, even last year's Galaxy Book Pro 360, come with a 6-month free subscription to Clip Paint Studio. So if you guys are artists or thinking about dabbling in art, maybe new to it, and you think that this might be your gateway into it, you are getting a 6-month free subscription. Last thing I want to talk about is, I know a lot of you guys complain about this chin on the bottom. Okay, hey, look, I'm with you. As far as regular viewing goes, you know, let's grab here, let me do this. We put this out of the way. Let's grab last year's model, all right? This is what I'm talking about, this chin down here on the bottom. See that? I mean, it's kind of ridiculous when you're using it in laptop mode. It doesn't bother me any, but I know that for a lot of you guys, it is kind of an eyesore, you know, having that bottom chin. But let me show you one benefit of it, especially for those of you that are artists or plan on taking a lot of notes with this, is that you can do this. You can now grab your Galaxy Book2 Pro 360. Where am I going to put my thumb? Where would I possibly rest this? Well, I'll show you. Right on the chin. I mean, that's kind of what it's for. So any way you want to hold this in portrait mode, you now have a spot to touch it without worrying about any accidental clicks, without having it impact anything that you're doing whatsoever. And do keep in mind, guys, that the bottom keyboard is completely disabled when you're in tablet mode except for one button. And that one button is right here, and that's your fingerprint scanner. So it's really great when you're in the middle of a lecture or whatever it may be, and you're watching your professor, and then all of a sudden he's done talking and your laptop turned off. You're like, oh God, I got to get back in. Now I got to swing the whole thing around. Not at all. If you have it sitting up, you just lift it like this, put your finger down here to unlock it. You're done. It's that simple. This is by no means the most thorough video on the S Pen that's ever been done, But, you know, things will start to progress as I get over all this dental work next week. But guys, before I wrap up, one more time, I just can't thank you enough for all the support this channel's getting. And it really does mean the world to me. It just really fuels the fire. You know, it just makes me, I'm in pain right now and I'm just pumping these videos out. You know, I just want to get these out there to you guys. All this information I want to share. I'm just really enjoying the process, and I really appreciate all the comments that you guys are leaving, all the suggestions and all the inputs. Please keep them up. I really do like it, and I think we're all learning a lot from each other. You guys have called me out on a few things, and I don't mind that at all. I actually really appreciate it because it keeps me honest. It helps me grow, it helps the channel grow, and it helps us grow together as we learn these things and keep pushing forward with what Samsung offers us. All right, guys, as always, thanks for watching.